Ghost of Tsushima grants players the ability to embrace different playstyles that adhere to their strengths. Some people will prefer being an archer saboteur, some will revel in being an unstoppable samurai warrior, others might prefer to stealthily infiltrate Mongol camps and quietly trim the herd like a skilled ninja. Whichever playstyle you gravitate towards, it is still vital to have several armour loadouts ready to suit the diverse challenges that you are likely to encounter to make Jin an excellent all-rounder. The combat system in Tsushima is absolutely fantastic. I would consider it to be one of, if not the best combat system in modern gaming. So today I want to help people get the most out of their combat experience by going over the best builds that you can create during Act 1, Rescue Lord Shimura, set in the Izuhara region. Hello, I'm Heather at Amalgamingle and here are the best early game builds in Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. Please note that there will be no spoilers in this video, unless you would consider seeing the best armour, charms and abilities that are available or unlockable during Act 1 a spoiler. Also, I'm going to apologise in advance if I well and truly butcher the Japanese language in this video. So, before I get stuck in talking about combat builds, I first want to briefly emphasise the importance of having a loadout that is just for exploration. Exploration is a large part of this game, and it is wise to always equip the Traveller's Attire outside combat scenarios. The Traveller's Attire is gifted to Jin by the first merchant he encounters, which will likely be in either Hiyoshi Springs if you first chose to pursue Ishikawa's questline, or the Golden Temple if you selected Lady Masako's quest. This armour has no combat related benefits, but it will be an essential tool for exploration and hunting artefacts. The Traveller's Attire enables guiding wind tracking, it clears a percentage of the map fog, and notifies you when artefacts are within range. The radius of both increase when you upgrade. To upgrade any armour to tier 4, you will need a total of 1,500 supplies, which is the in-game currency, 60 linen, 30 leather and 6 silk. The great thing about Ghost of Tsushima is that each armour set comes with a total of 6 unlockable charm slots, and these charms can be equipped to more than a single armour set. Charms can be found by honouring scalable Shinto shrines, and new charm slots are unlocked by following foxes to honourable Inari shrines. One of the first things I always advise people to do in Act 1, which relates to the Explorer loadout, is seek out the major utility Charm of Inari. Why? Because the Charm of Inari increases the amount of supplies, predator hides, bamboo and yew wood gained from collecting, all of which are essential resources required for upgrading gear. Anything that increases the amount of supplies you pick up is a massive plus, especially early game. The Charm of Inari can be found at Arrow Peak Shrine in Azamo Prefecture, north of Sakimori Overlook. Anyways, with all that being said, let's move on to the most obvious combat build for an open world samurai RPG such as this, and that's a warrior build. The samurai warrior playstyle is for those who enjoy jumping into the fray by challenging enemies head on with standoffs and melee combat. This build places emphasis on timing, precision and combat stances. This approach is perhaps the most exciting, and interestingly, you are rewarded in the game with good weather if you honour the samurai code and choose less nefarious means of driving out the Mongol invaders. To become a powerful warrior, you first need armour that focuses on defence, health and resolve. The best armour available in this region is the Samurai Clan armour, which is gifted to Jin by Lady Masako to replace his broken armour at the Golden Temple. This armour grants a moderate reduction to all damage taken, moderately boosts your health, and turns damage taken into 15% resolve gains. Those perks make this armour suited to any combat situation, but makes it perfect for early game warrior builds. Challenging enemies to a standoff is a core mechanic that relates to a samurai warrior build. It is a great way to reduce the amount of enemies that you have to initially face, providing you have good timing. Otherwise, you will be at a disadvantage straight away with a huge chunk of your health already gone. Standoffs are a straightforward way to dispatch enemies through short cinematic one-on-one combat encounters. You can improve Jin's standoff capabilities by spending technique points in the Evolving Tactics menu and unlock the Standoff Streak and Improved Standoff Streak skills. These enable you to dispatch multiple enemies in a single standoff encounter. The next important thing, particularly in melee combat, is to practice parrying and dodging. Parrying is so important. The samurai technique screen shows skills that place emphasis on deflection and evasion, which pretty much equates to dodging and parrying. So this is the screen warrior samurais want to pay close attention to and invest technique points in. In the heat of combat, a well-timed perfect parry can be a lifesaver, and the charm of Mizu no Kami, located at Springfall Shrine, makes parries, perfect parries and dodges much easier to perform. Other notable charms include the charm of Susanoo, gained at Stone Dragon Shrine, that grants a 30% increase to the likelihood of staggered enemies being knocked down. This allows Jin to issue a single killing blow. Note that you will need a tool gained towards the end of the main story in Act 1 to scale this shrine, and you will be prompted as such so that you can return later if you don't have the tool yet. The charm of Amaterasu, found at Golden Summit Shrine, grants health with every kill, but the most important charm in this region by far, for all builds, not just samurai warriors, is the charm of Okuninushi. This fantastic charm can be found at Mending Rock Shrine and allows Jin to slowly recover health while out of combat, meaning that you no longer have to spend resolve to recover health after a battle. A large part of the warrior build is breaking enemy defences and increasing stagger output. Both can be accomplished through gaining combat stances. There are 4 unlockable combat stances in the game, which enable Jin to hold his sword differently to produce more stagger against the 4 different kinds of Mongols you are likely to encounter. You start the game with the stone stance already unlocked, and this is most effective against swordsmen. Water stance is fantastic against Mongols with shields. Wind stance is great for spearmen, and moon stance is effective against brutes with heavy weapons. These stances can be unlocked by observing and or killing Mongol leaders, and you will often have to switch your stance mid-combat to accommodate enemy types and break through their defences. You only need 3 points to unlock the water stance, but it is possible to unlock all combat stances in Act 1. So if you are serious about becoming a deadly overpowered samurai warrior, then my advice would be to hit the Mongol camps and observe, then kill the leaders. Leaders are identifiable by their heavier armour and are often separate from the rest of the crew practising swordplay. Trust me, you will feel the difference in combat almost immediately when you master perfect parries and use the correct combat stance against the corresponding enemy type. The final thing I want to mention about the warrior build is that you should definitely complete the Heavenly Strike Mythic Tale, which will culminate in a duel where, upon winning, you will acquire the Heavenly Strike Legendary Combat Art. This is a key combat ability, especially for warrior builds, that allows you to spend resolve to perform a powerful sword strike. If you want your build to pack even more of a punch, then you could always unlock the kunai and black powder bomb ghost weapons. Kunai is my favourite ghost weapon. These small blades can be thrown at enemies to stagger them, giving you a few seconds to act, which is useful if you have yet to unlock the correct combat stance. Black powder bombs are great too, since you can unlock perks that make it more powerful and create bomb shrapnel damage. And if you have a group of enemies charging towards you, then you can just throw a bomb at them, which will produce damage and stagger. Then you can charge in and show them who's boss. Archery plays an important role throughout the game despite which playstyle you favour, which is why the Way of the Bow is introduced very early on as part of Sensei Ishikawa's questline. You will quickly discover that chasing boars around trying to swipe them with a sword isn't the most effective way to gain predator hides, and it makes Jin look very silly. Plus, in Act 2, silent infiltration becomes much more important due to watchful Mongol birds alerting the enemy to your presence, skilled Mongol archer lookouts, and an increased likelihood of Mongols killing prisoners. The archer build is, of course, about ranged weaponry, speed, and concentration. Some things that are perfect for archer builds only become available in Act 2 onwards, but there are a lot of ways to become a formidable archer early game. The first way is to gain some snazzy archery focused armour. Tadayori's armour is given as a reward for completing the Legend of Tadayori Mythic Tale that is available in Act 1. This armour is perfect for archer builds because it bolsters Jin's ability to shoot more arrows, reload faster, and enhances your concentration. Concentration is an important archer technique that slows down time for a few seconds, allowing Jin to get a better shot. Concentration can be unlocked and improved by spending technique points in the Evolved Tactics skill screen. Notably, the skill Mental Fortitude reduces concentration cooldown by 15%, and Improved Mental Fortitude boosts this to 30%. Considering that a fully upgraded Tadayori's armour can increase knocking and reloading speeds by 30%, increase total concentration duration, and makes it so that headshots restore 50% of the concentration meter, Jin can genuinely become a very lethal archer. You can equip Tadayori's armour with the major charm of Izanagi, the minor charm of efficiency, and the minor charm of precision to gain a great advantage. The charm of Izanagi grants a 40% chance of returning an arrow when landing a headshot and can be found at Winding Mountain Shrine. Naturally, the other charms I mentioned can be gained as rewards for progressing in the Ishikawa's Tale questline. The minor charm of efficiency increases knocking and reloading speeds by 15% and is rewarded for completing the Sensei and the Student quest. The charm of precision grants a moderate increase to arrow damage and can be gained through completing the quest The Past Never Passes. Furthermore, the mythic tale The Curse of Uchitsune becomes available in the Izuhara region, and upon completion of this lengthy tale, you are rewarded with a longbow and explosive arrows. Although the longbow has a much longer draw speed, is more cumbersome, and has less arrow capacity than the halfbow, it is much more powerful. The longbow is best used from a stealth position, has the furthest reach of any of Jin's weapons, and enables the ability to zoom in for better accuracy, which is great for landing headshots. Explosive arrows are a great option for archers that are unable to maintain a stealth position, or simply want to cause some devastation, because shooting an explosive arrow at the centre of a group of Mongols can stun and damage them. Bows can be upgraded at the bowyer. You will need a large amount of supplies, bamboo, yew wood and waxwood to fully upgrade. To increase ammo capacities, you need to visit a trapper and spend a total of 60 predator hides to fully upgrade the heavy arrow capacity to 10 arrows and the explosive arrow capacity to 8 arrows. Sadly, there is no archery-specific unlockable ghost weapon. However, it might be worth investing in the wind chimes or firecrackers that allow you to attract the attention of an enemy and draw them away from a group. You could also consider smoke bombs early on, which will help archers regain a stealth position when exposed, and the healing incense perk makes it so that smoke bombs also restore health when deployed. The last, but certainly not least build I want to mention is a playstyle that embraces stealth, and that's an assassin. You can become a very formidable ninja in Ghost of Tsushima. An assassin build is all about infiltration, sabotage, chain assassinations and enemy detection. Although we are punished with pathetic fallacy for shunning the ways of the samurai with constant rain and storms, it's totally worth it. Especially when you can clear the bad weather by playing the flute anyway. Personally, I love the stealth mechanics in this game, and although I prefer to create a custom all-rounder build for Jin, if I had to choose a single playstyle, it would definitely be an assassin, silently clearing out Mongol camps from the shadows. The best early game armour for this build is the Ronin attire, gained from Ryuzo after completing the Blood in the Grass quest. This attire is a hybrid melee and stealth-focused armour that enhances Jin's ability to sneak up on foes by reducing enemy detection speeds and increasing melee damage. A fully upgraded Ronin attire reduces enemy detection by 20%, increases melee damage, and makes enemies significantly slower at detecting you after leaving pampas grass. Personally, I've never actually been keen on this armour because the Samurai clan armour is far superior, due to its damage reduction, health boosting and resolve gaining perks, but if you 100% want to stay hidden and avoid chaotic confrontations, then the Ronin attire might be better for you. There are several stealth charms available in Act 1 that can be coupled with the Ronin attire. The Charm of Shadows reduces enemy detection speed by 10% and can be gained by completing the side quest The Other Side of Honor. Note that throughout the game you can gain several charms of shadows, and charms can be stacked. The charm of hidden sight is gained by completing the side tales for Tsushima and makes it so that enemies stop hunting you 40% faster. This makes it easier to continue a stealth approach after being seen. In terms of techniques, I cannot emphasise the importance of chain assassination for this playstyle. Chain assassination is an evolving tactic that enables Jin to take out up to 3 targets in quick succession in a series of awesome slow motion attacks from a stealth position. It genuinely does make you feel like a total badass, jumping down from high up to attack and then slinking back into the shadows to continue your assault. It is also a good idea to improve your focused hearing so that you can see which enemies' deaths will alert others, but I would do this anyway regardless of your build. Smoke bombs and kunai are essential ghost weapons for assassin builds. Smoke bombs make it so that, despite being out in the open, you can perform chain assassinations to thin the herd and then disappear. If you are out of bombs, then the kunai is a safe bet. The charm of hidden blades allows Jin to throw 2 additional blades, and kunai is an excellent weapon to deploy when several enemies are charging towards you. One other charm that is worth mentioning, but does require quite a bit of legwork, is the charm of silence. This charm reduces enemy detection speeds and increases resolve gains by a massive amount. To unlock the charm of silence, you must honour 24 Inari shrines, which sounds more tedious than it actually is because you will frequently come across fox dens organically through exploration. So there we have it, there's the best early game builds in Ghost of Tsushima. Whether you prefer to be a deadly archer saboteur, a stealth assassin, or a warrior samurai, the game lets you truly indulge in that role. Of course, this is just early game builds, and as you progress, superior gear becomes available for each playstyle. Anyways, I do hope that this video helped you to get the most out of your experience of Act 1, and prepared you well for the fantastic challenges that lie ahead in this masterpiece of a game. Let me know in the comments what your favourite early game build is. I've been Heather at Amalgam Mingle, and thank you very much for watching.